42 people who had tested positive for the virus have recovered and have been released to unite with their families. However, the government, in collaboration with local scientists and public health professionals, say it is conducting more research to gather more information on how to contain the virus that has claimed the lives of over 144 people in the country. Mark Kimondo has this report.
The country was able to conduct 2,221 COVID-19 tests for the last 24 hours. And out of the analyzed samples, 120 people were confirmed to be positive for COVID-19, bringing the total cases to 6,190. Total samples tested since March 2020 now stands at 167,417. 42 people were discharged today, bringing the cumulative total recoveries to 2,013. Of the last 120 positive cases, 84 have appeared to be males, with 36 being females. This still leaving many questions behind on why males keep topping on COVID-19 cases. Similar to other days, Nairobi has topped one more time, this time round with 67 COVID-19 cases, Machakos 9, Kiambu County 8, with Uasin Gishu 4 cases, Nakuru, Kilifi and Narok County recording each 2 cases.
The 67 cases are in Westlands, 12, Dagoretti, North and Langata, 11 each, Kibra 6, Makadara and Starehe 4 cases each, Kamkunji 3, Embakasi Central, Embakasi East, Embakasi North, Embakasi South, Embakasi West, and Mathare have 2 cases each. Kasarani, Roysambu, Ruaraka, and Umoja have 1 case each.
COVID-19 fatalities rose to 144 after one patient succumbed to the deadly virus. In terms of age, in today's positive cases, the oldest was 83 years old, while the youngest was 6 years. Dagoretti and Westlands in Nairobi County are still hotspots for the disease that has seen 144 people lose their lives. The government has today received a donation of personal protective equipment worth $223,000 from United Nations Population Funds. The donation is expected to cushion healthcare workers who are in the front line in the fight against the pandemic.
Our position at UNFPA is this: we will continue to work under the leadership of the ministry, listening to the range of partners who have legitimate concerns.
Besides the donation, the Ministry of Health has also received $24 million from UNFPA, with the funds expected to support the continuation of services in the country. The Ministry of Health, by the help of Kenya Medical Research Institute, is still conducting research that will increase knowledge in the fight against the deadly virus. As the corona death toll keeps rising in the country, the government is emphasizing Kenyans to remain self-vigilant, as this is what will help combat the virus.
We've told you again and again, the person standing next to you would also be positive, including those parliamentarians. So it is individual responsibility.
Mark Kimondo for Hope TV, Nairobi.
The National Nurses Association of Kenya has launched a campaign to celebrate the International Year of the Nurse and Midwife in the country. The campaign is in line with the World Health Organization's designation of 2020 as the Year of the Nurse and Midwife, to celebrate the pivotal role that nurses and midwives play in the health sector. The year 2020 also marks the 200th anniversary of the birth of the founder of modern nursing, Florence Nightingale. Alice Diana tells us more.
The campaign, launched on Monday, will see the National Nurses Association of Kenya, NNK, embark on the countrywide activities to recognize, honor and celebrate the nursing and midwifery profession in Kenya and the role they play in the country's healthcare system. Among the activities lined up include webinars and direct engagements with various stakeholders, including the media and the public. During the launch, NNAK President Alfred Obengo emphasized the important role that nurses and midwives play in the delivery of quality healthcare.
We did know that when WHO declares this year as the year of the nurse and the midwife, that we shall actually be practically nursing the world to health, which we are doing today. And that's why in Kenya, we are saying that we are remembering the nurse, we are embracing the nurse, we are empowering the nurse, and we are reinventing the nurse and the midwife.
Besides working in hospitals, Obengo noted that nurses are a critical component of healthcare professionals as they are the first point of contact with patients. The NNAK president expressed his desire for Kenyans to join in the campaign as well as refresh and re-energize the sector.
This is a very powerful profession, and that's why we are saying we are powerful, we can do it, and we are doing it.
I just want to take this opportunity, even as we celebrate the year of the nurse and the midwife, to really call on national government to ensure that there is the needed rightful employment opportunities for young nurses and midwives, because these are the innovators within the health sector industry.
Currently, the country has 58,247 registered nurses and midwives. According to the World Health Organization, the world needs 9 million more nurses and midwives if it is to achieve universal health coverage by 2030. For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Alice Diana.
Members of the Kitui County Assembly have today shelved debate on Governor Charity Ngilu's impeachment motion. This is after Governor Ngilu obtained court orders temporarily stopping the MCAs from debating her impeachment. In respecting the court order, the Assembly abandoned the debate and instead tabled the 2021-2020 budget this afternoon. Now, earlier there was drama at the Assembly when Ngilu's lawyers, who included Martin Olo and Maurice Kimilu, were denied access into the Assembly. They said they wanted to represent the governor, who had been summoned to appear before the Assembly. They argued that even though the governor obtained orders temporarily stopping MCAs from debating her impeachment, she was not served by a cancellation letter shelving the summons. Our reporter Joseph Maingi has details.
Just days after Kirinyaga County boss Anne Waiguru survived the impeachment tide, the wave has now rocked Kitui County. This is after the area members of County Assembly intensified their push to oust their county boss, Charity Ngilu. Earlier, there was drama at the Kitui County Assembly after lawyers representing Ngilu were forcibly kicked out of the Assembly's premises. The members of County Assembly had summoned the embattled governor to appear before the Assembly just days after the High Court had temporarily stopped them from tabling the impeachment motion. The team of lawyers representing Ngilu were led by the Kitui County lawyer Maurice Kimuli and Martin Olo. The two lawyers were later roughed up and pushed out of the Assembly's premises by the county officials. Reacting to the bizarre incidents, Ngilu has brushed off the MCA's efforts to remove her from office. The Kitui boss has said that the efforts to impeach her were witch hunting, adding that if it was a proper and legitimate impeachment, then the members of the County Assembly would not have used the draconian measures. On Thursday, Ngilu filed an application before the High Court in Nairobi, challenging her impeachment, and was able to obtain orders to suspend the tabling of the impeachment motion. Justice Weldon Korir directed the orders would remain in force until hearing and determination of the suit was done. In the motion, which was being prepared by Majority Leader and Athi River member of County Assembly Peter Kilonzo, Ngilu is accused of gross violation of the Constitution, as well as failing to honor the summons by the Senate. The members of County Assembly also accused the governor for failing to sack one of the CEC, Philip Momo, who has continued to serve despite questionability on his suitability. The ouster motion gained the support of 40 members of County Assembly out of a total number of 56 members of County Assembly. Ngilu is also accused of violating the 2/3 gender rule in her appointments. Meanwhile, the Law Society of Kenya has come out to condemn the bizarre incidents witnessed today, terming it as retrogressive.
These incidents happened within the full watch of policemen. It cannot be explained why the policemen did not prevail, take charge of that altercation, and then ensure that the advocates have access to the County Assembly.
LSK now wants the Inspector General, Hilary Mutyambai, probe the action and apprehend the culprits.
It is for that reason, therefore, we have called upon the Inspector General of Police to initiate investigations as soon as possible and apprehend the perpetrators of this heinous crime.
Through its president, the society has called for speedy action in bringing to book the county officials over assaults and obstruction of justice. For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Joseph Maingi.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has affirmed that technical and vocational training institutions, TVETs, should be prepared to meet Ministry of Health guidelines on procedure of reopening of schools. Addressing principals of various TVET institutions in Nairobi, Central, Eastern and Northeastern regarding the reopening plans and post-COVID-19 strategy, Professor Magoha commended the principals for helping the government make protective gear for healthcare workers, adding that more effort should be put to ensure that they produce enough masks for learners once schools reopen. The Education CS is racing to ensure the institutions are ready to reopen by the September deadline issued for all schools by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Here's Grace Wangoi with that report.
The Ministry of Education has been under pressure regarding the announcement by the President that there is a possibility that learning institutions might reopen come September. Part of the government's Big Four agenda is creation of employment for the youth. President Uhuru Kenyatta has reiterated a couple of times that TVET learning remains the best way to create employment, stressing on the importance of skilling the youth with practical skills that will prove useful in the society.
We need to get more children using their hands so that they can employ themselves and employ others.
However, addressing the press, Education CS George Magoha, while agreeing that following the social distancing guideline presents a challenge for learning institutions due to inadequate infrastructure, TVET institutions should reorganize themselves and plan properly to ensure learning continues once and when schools reopen in September.
The elephant in the room, of course, is social and physical distancing, which should be easy for you because the way you are organized, you can bring the people in batches. We have already suggested to you to bring the examination classes in batches, complete the exams, and then reorganize your program to bring students in shifts, and it should be possible.
Moreover, he assured Kenyans that the government is working round the clock to get funding from the World Health Organization that will assist in improvement as well as construction of new infrastructure.
We have the SECIP money, which is about 8.2 billion from the World Bank. I think they are opening tenders sometime this week, and we are going to accelerate. That is supposed to improve the infrastructure level in about 30 counties. And some of these monies will go directly to toilets and to labs and to classrooms.
Clarifying on the matter of disinfection of schools that have acted as centers for isolation during the pandemic, Magoha assured Kenyans that there is no need for alarm as the government will take proper steps to ensure the institutions are safe for learning once schools reopen.
We shall make sure that those institutions are thoroughly fumigated and tested the way we do in the medical practice, which means we shall dust certain areas and see whether there's anything else. So that is the least of my worries.
At the same time, Magoha, while stressing the need for the Education Ministry to continue its order of business, clarified that work has stalled at the Kabrak University that was set to begin today in the vetting of grade 7 to 11 books after 2 people tested positive for the COVID-19 in the guest house in the premises, forcing 80 people who had arrived to be quarantined.
At Kabrak, I want to assure the nation that I personally went, inspected the hostels, inspected the halls, ensured that they have these automatic things where you put your hand and the sanitizers come around, ensure that they have many, many washing points. I would not have risked that at all. But since what happened, the people that are there will remain there. I think they'll be tested today and they will remain there for 14 days.
Grace Angoi, FOB TV News Watch.
Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala has officially launched the National Tourism Crisis Steering Committee's report on the impact of COVID-19 on the tourism industry in Kenya that will guide the sector's recovery path. The ministry, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta in collaboration with the Jamaica Ministry of Tourism, and West Indies University, mooted the idea of establishing the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center at the Kenyatta University, a move that saw Balala gazette the steering committee in March this year following the outbreak of COVID-19. Dickens Luvanda attended the launch.
Kenya's tourism sector has lost about 80 billion shillings since the outbreak of coronavirus in December last year. And if nothing is done to open up the economy, the sector, which is the worst hit by COVID-19, will completely be on its knees.
We hit the mark of 1.5 billion tourists last year, which was really quite a milestone. And within Africa, we get about 71 million tourists, while in Kenya, we also had a lot of improvement to 2.05 million. Despite all the crises that have hit us along the way, like SARS and global economic crisis, the change in numbers has not been that significant. But currently, UNWTO estimates that we might be affected by between 60 and 80%.
According to stakeholders in the tourism industry, this year, the sector performed well only in January and February before COVID-19 struck, paralyzing both international, regional and domestic tourism after countries shut their borders to stop the spread of the virus. In a bid to cushion the sector, Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala has launched the National Tourism Crisis Steering Committee report on the impact of the coronavirus in Kenya and its mitigation measures.
And I believe that all of us, as we appreciate the report on the impacts of COVID-19 on the tourism and hospitality industry, we shall also draw a lot of lessons and encouragement from the recommendations that are being put forth.
The recommendations of this report will be implemented. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere hope that our experiences over the past few months, coupled with today's refreshing knowledge and ideas, will offer us a platform on which we will base our innovative management practices in the future. These strategies imply the need to refocus the industry through resetting the tourism industry.
The committee, led by Tourism and Wildlife CS Joseph Boynet and lead researcher Dr. Esther Munyiri, was gazetted on March 7, 2020.
As a committee, realizing the grave existential threat the pandemic posed to our economy, which is a critical component of our national security, and in view of the virtual shutdown, the pandemic had seemed to be imposing at that time on the industry, we decided to commission a study into its impact.
The aviation sector, which has employed up to 2 million people, is one of the worst hit in the tourism industry, with the CS saying that it is likely to take a long time for its revival, given that no country wants to open their borders yet for fear of a second wave of the deadly virus.
We are worried that if the protocols are going to be very rigid, particularly the aviation protocols, the cost of flying will be expensive. It doesn't matter being a charter aircraft or a scheduled airline. People also are strained and they want to move out of their confinement for the last 3-4 months. So people are ready. Even in Kenya, here in Nairobi, they are waiting for the lockdown to be opened.
Dickens Rwanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
And that story takes us to our first break here on News Watch. We'll be right back. Keep it Hope TV.
Top imerudi tena na ina ladha tamu wa kuchangamsha wa ladha ya machungwa, tropical, apple, maembe na strawberry banana. Kaa salama na ufurahie ladha ya kipekee ya Top na familia yako. Top, you can't beat this taste.
What comes to your mind when you think of the perfect home for your family? Is it the beauty, the comfort, the security, the convenience, or even the affordability? Victory Gardens offers exactly that and much more. It is just 10 minutes drive from Kitengela town and 3.8 kilometers off the tarmac. This gated community project comes with solar street lighting, Marrero roads, beautiful trees, 24-hour security, and water connected to every plot. The best part is, families are already living here. Call us today on 0702 831083 or visit www.optiven.co.ke.
Optiven Limited, the pacesetters in real estate.
Welcome back. Starehe MP Charles Njagwa alias Jaguar has been arrested on accusations of incitement. Nairobi Police Boss Philip Ndolo said Jaguar was arrested for transporting youth to Grogan Building to illegally take ownership of shops. Now, the vocal MP was taken to Nairobi Area Police Station where he was questioned as his supporters camped outside the police station demanding for his immediate release. Following the arrest, the MP informed the public through his Twitter account that he was being held at the Nairobi Area Police Station in connection with claims that he incited hawkers on the allocation of stalls at Marrero Market. The MP is said to have incited the youth on Saturday, June the 27th. Nairobi Regional Commissioner Wilson Njega has cautioned the public against falling victim to fraudsters purporting to collect money in order to facilitate the allocation of stalls in the newly rehabilitated Marrero Market. Njenga said traders at Marrero and several other markets within the city will be allocated their spaces accordingly.
Yeah. Earlier, the governor said that the Marrero Market was still done by Walmart in cooperation with the county government of Nairobi. And last month, the director of markets in Nairobi City County is called Mr. Donyo.
We want to address the public is that there have been some people going around, some collecting money purporting to allocate market stalls, other politicians inciting the public to take over those stores. On Friday last week, that was the 26th of June this year, we had a confrontation between some members of the public and the police at Marrero Market, which is located in Starehe constituency, whereby the area member of parliament and led some rowdy people purporting to take over the market. Police are investigating the incident in a view to prosecuting those who are involved in that illegal demonstration and illegal takeover. Because this is a project for that market, Marrero and other markets. These are projects by national government, and there is a framework for actually allocating space for the completed markets and also for the one which is incomplete once it is completed. And this system procedure which is in place is already a committee looking into modalities of allocation, which I have delegated to the County Commissioner Nairobi, Laura Moroa, to chair, together with the people from the State Department of Housing and Urban Development. Yeah.
Earlier, the governor said that the Marrero Market was still done by Walmart in cooperation with the county government of Nairobi. And last month, the director...
Jokali artisans at the Bama Market in Nakuru County are counting losses after their stalls were demolished yesterday night. Led by Assumpta Wangoi, the Secretary General of the SMEs in Nakuru, the artisans are accusing the county government of Nakuru of deliberately demolishing the stalls without considering their plight, especially during these COVID-19 pandemic times.
Hii kazi yetu iliharibiwa na Kanjola asubuhi. Walikuja mwendo saa 11 wakaweza kubomoa hapa, wakabomoa gate.
Akabeba mabati nusu na chuma akatoroka. Sasa tujui shida ilikuwa gani? Hakutuambia, mimi ndo nachunga hapa kila siku.
Madam wetu ambaye amewekwa hapa kama macho ya serikali ya national, Madam Chemtai Evelyn, yeye ndiye yako mstari mbele kushikamana na serikali yetu ya county kufanya ubomolewaji wa mali ya wanajua kali.
The county government of Taita Taveta County has started the construction of a 160-bed capacity isolation center in Matata in a bid to contain the spread of coronavirus. Governor Granton Samboja, who led the groundbreaking ceremony of the facility, said the facility, which will cost 17 million shillings, will also be equipped with all the necessary equipment. He also toured Moi County Referral Hospital in Voi, where he said his government is working closely with the national government to curb the spread of coronavirus in the county. Governor Samboja, who has been at loggerheads with his county MCAs, have resolved to work together to ensure development.
Kazi hii imeanza leo, maafisa wa health wanafanya kila bidii. Tumeshirikiana pia na serikali kuu kwa kuweza kuongea na watu wa prisons ambao ndio watafanya kazi yote ya labor. From the national government, through the Minister of Health, we got 37.5 million. So pesa hiyo sasa imeingia, tuko nayo, and out of that 37.5 million, building na kila kitu hiyo 160 itakuwa ni 17 million.
And women leaders and civil society groups in Wajir County have called on the security agencies to arraign Abeku Ramso, assistant chief, over his alleged defilement of a 16-year-old girl and spreading the video of the act through social media. Led by the Wajir County Maendeleo ya Wanawake chairperson, the women leaders accused the police at Wajir Police Station of siding with the chief by giving him police bond. The family of the teenage girl accused the chief of blackmailing the innocent girl by threatening to expose her nudes whenever he wanted to advance his sexual desires. The chief was expected to be arraigned before the Wajir law courts today.
Kuna mambo ya maji, chini ya maji inafanywa hapa ya kupoteza haki ya huyu msichana, na sisi hatukubaliani nayo. Kama dada zake, kama ndugu zake, kama mababa zake, kama anti zake, hatukubali hiyo. Tunataka haki itendeke. Haki ya mnyonge iko wapi jamani?
We are here today at the Wajir Law Courts on behalf of the girl who was defiled by an assistant chief. In the strongest terms possible, we want to tell the government to avail this gentleman to court. They bonded the guy. Today he has not appeared in court. That means there's something fishy. Behind the curtains, we understand that money has changed hands. And now that we say there is no maslaha, it seems the money will be moved from the girl's side to the government side.
Let's take another short break. When we return, we shall look at the day's business.
Wake up every morning with refreshing worship playlists. So come we're ready for your presence. And powerful nuggets of God's word.
His mercies begin afresh each morning.
We had press from every side, but we are not crushed.
Right place. We desire to be in the sweet space.
The place of praising, the place of singing lips.
Only on Hope Devotion.
Join John Carson every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Cousin every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Let's look at business now. Family Bank and Isuzu East Africa customers can now access up to 95% financing payable within 60 months on a 90 days repayment holiday on commercial vehicles. This follows a partnership agreement between the two entities today. Dubbed Isuzu Strong, Kenya Strong, the asset finance agreement is designed to cushion SMEs from the economic slowdown caused by COVID-19. The partnership will enable small and medium-sized customers in the agribusiness, trade and logistics businesses to conveniently purchase Isuzu pickups and trucks at competitive interest rates. Speaking at the partnership signing ceremony, Isuzu East Africa Managing Director Rita Kavashe said the initiative was aimed at revitalizing SMEs which have been hard hit by closures, inter-county movement restrictions and reduced spending caused by job losses. On her part, Family Bank Chief Executive Officer Rebecca Mbithi thanked Isuzu East Africa for coming together to lift the business curve and for providing favorable environment amid such adverse times. With every vehicle purchase, SMEs will also obtain 2 AMREF Maisha covers in case of emergency evacuation services, where AMREF flying doctors will provide air and ground ambulances.
Here has been given to schools and churches who will get 100% financing. You know, schools have been badly hit by this situation, but as we prepare to go back to school, schools can be able now to plan their purchases at 100% financing for purchases of buses.
Current COVID situation that we are facing. So you've heard that as a bank, we've recognized that we need then to have a higher percentage financing margin. So the margins are 95%, you've had 100% for certain institutions.
This partnership will go a long way. It's to support the business owners and the SMEs and their staff to be able to carry on with their day-to-day activities, take risks, do business, be good at what they do, knowing that they have the peace of mind that if anything happens in between, they've got a partner that can be relied upon and can be called upon to cover them.
Nyandarua County farmers will in 90 days enjoy the services of a potatoes cold storage funded by the national government at a tune of 100 million shillings. The 100,000 metric tons storage facility in Olkalau will save the farmers from middlemen and post-harvest losses, as it will have the capacity to store the potatoes for at least 6 months before processing. Chief Administrative Secretary for Industrialization and Trade, Lawrence Karanja, says the project promised to the residents by President Uhuru Kenyatta in his recent visit to the region consists of the cold store as well as a processing plant that the county had planned to put up. CAS Karanja were urging Governor Francis Kimemia and the County Commissioner Boaz Cherotich to ensure the construction was up to standards, cautioned the contractor against delaying the project, saying all the funds allocated for the project were available. Karanja added that 3 other factories in Shamata, Wanjohi and Engineer have also been earmarked for their construction planned, while Kinangop and Mirangine sub-counties have been proposed.
This project touches 2 of the Big 4 agenda. One is food security. Because of there will be preservation of the food, then we can be assured that even when there is shortage of potatoes, potatoes will be available at this factory. Secondly, on the fourth agenda, that is manufacturing sector, it is a big step forward because this will be a factory which will be, therefore will be achieving, will be a step towards achieving the big four.
And the World Bank has issued 3 million shillings to 1,000 youths, vulnerable women and indigenous people in 2 entrepreneurial groups in Nakuru County to expand their beekeeping enterprises in a bid for jobs and wealth creation. The Ogiek-run Mariashoni Community Development Society, Makodev, and Hifadhi Cooperative Society have in the last 3 months received 1.5 million shillings each to help expand the bee value chain in high-potential areas in Molo and Naivasha sub-counties. Nakuru County Executive Committee member for Agriculture and Livestock and Fisheries, Dr. Immaculate Nthunje, said the money through the National Agricultural Rural Inclusive Growth Project, the bank's affiliate, has been spent on equipping the youth.
We'd want to maintain this tradition, we'd want to support them to keep going with this very good way of living and of livelihood. We also host other persons or other institutions that are heavily involved in beekeeping, like the Baraka College. And we also have Egerton that is actually doing research on beekeeping, including what we call queen rearing. This is a private sector-led platform with county facilitation and county support to ensure that our beekeeping farmers have a chance to talk to each other, discuss their challenges, and together we can build the value chain.
With that story, we come to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Thank you for keeping me company. My name is Melissa Odwor. My sign language interpreter has been Boniface Mureithi. Have a good night.